area and some of the details, not all the details, but he was told that the Aetherius Society, of which he founded, should activate all their spiritual energy radiators worldwide, which is a technology that Dr. King invented to bring healing and harmony into the world because of this very, very dangerous situation, which he did. Everybody was on alert, and these spiritual energy radiators were activated. And this was, he later got more intelligence about this. And all this was published and available before Chernobyl hit the news. And, it was known the area, it was known what was going on, and so on. So, this is one of the many proofs that we've had over the years that extraterrestrial intelligences are watching us, have contacted us through Dr. King and other people, and they are here helping us.
Why do you think they're here, Chrissie? Because, when we look at the world today, we see all the hunger, we see all the disease, we see the threat of nuclear war in the Middle East. Why don't they step in and say, you know what, we're not going to let you destroy this planet and yourselves anymore?
Well, they wouldn't let us destroy the planet because we've already done that once. With previous civilization of before Atlantis, before Lemuria, there was one called Maldek, which now is in the asteroid belt is just rocks, lumps of rocks, which even recently I was reading that some scientists believe that there was a planet actually in this area of space, and indeed there was, which we destroyed through nuclear explosion. And they would not allow us to do that again, to destroy this planet. But apart from that, we have free will, and they respect that. They respect the law of karma, which is one of the great laws of creation, and they only will move. They will only, if we take one step, they can take a step too. So we have to keep taking those steps. But they can't or they won't. They could if they wanted to, but they won't sort of overstep the mark. And also there's another factor too, and that's a psychological one, that I believe if they landed in Hyde Park or Central Park, people would look at it with interest, and it would hit the news for a while, and then after about a week, apathy would set in, and people would just walk past, and carry on their lives as usual. And I think in other words, we have to be ready for it. We have to be ready. We have to be ready to accept the change that would come. And I also believe, and the Aetherius Society teaches too, that there will be coming a next master or avatar or teacher to this earth, as all the great religions teach also. But this time he will not come, or she will not come limited by the limitations that they previously had. Will come with all the full powers. So that they can then take over the media, can take over and so on, and propound their message. And their magic, if you like, will be greater than the combined materialistic might of all the armies. And so I believe this will come, and I think more and more extraterrestrial intelligence will be walking among us and so forth in the future. But we're not there yet. We're not ready for that yet.
When do you think this will happen, Chrissie? Are we talking? Is there a connection or correlation with the arrival of the ETs, with the galactic alignment, with the end of the Mayan calendar, with the dawning of the New Age, or what are they waiting for? How can we prepare ourselves?
Well, I think we are. As you said earlier in the show, you said things are changing, and now people are much more accepting than they were 10, 20 years ago. Because you and I know, because we've been around the block.
Yes, we have. Many times.
Talking about these subjects for 10, 20 and more years. So the times they are changing, and people are ready to know more, but it still only really is the minority. Wouldn't you agree, Rob? Rather than the majority.
Yeah, definitely the minority. Definitely the minority.
The thinking minority. And I think also that those thinking minority, the people that listen to your show and so on, the people that think more and they're not apathetic, I think they still need to take another step. And hey, check out the Aetherius Society, because we've got a body of messages, over 600 of them, which contain fantastic teachings and proof and all sorts of things if people will study with an open mind.
You know, in Exonation, that's a great point that you brought up, and thank you, Chrissie. If you'd like to visit the Aetherius Society's website, it's Aetheriism. AETHERIUS.org.
IUS.
Yeah.
IUS. Yeah. Sorry, it's difficult.
But it is a great website, and we've had the pleasure of talking to you and other people from the Aetherius Society. And where did your interest in UFOs come from, Chrissie?
I think I've always had it since I was a kind of a psychic child, and I was always interested in. My grandmother used to say when I was 4, your thoughts are things, and she kind of got me on the start, and she left me when she died all the Alice Bailey books when I was only a kid, so I was always intrigued, and I suppose I'm what you call curious about life, and I had sightings, but a little bit later on. But it just always seemed to be so logical to me to accept that life wasn't limited to this planet and look around, and if it is, gosh, is that the sum total of life in creation? No, I don't think so. It just didn't make sense to me. So it's always been something that seems so logical, that intelligent life exists outside this planet.
God, I hope it exists somewhere outside this planet, because when you take a look at the morning news, it sure as heck doesn't exist many times on this planet, I'll tell you.
I know.
It's these are hard times. A lot of people are looking for answers. And you know what, Chrissie? I found that there are even those who believe in UFOs because they're looking for an easy way out. They're looking for someone or something to solve all their problems for them, and that's not going to happen.
No, absolutely. No, we have to, stand on our own 2 feet and solve our own problems. But I do think that extraterrestrial would, if we took that step, they would come and offer us solutions because they have advanced technology, as you know, and I think there are solutions, but still we have to take the steps, and there's a lot we can do, and we're supposed to be doing, just in spiritual ways, opening our hearts and sending our love to the world and trying to bring a kind of a harmony and more balance to this crazy world of ours is a job that we should do.
It's a job that some are trying, but not enough. So, Chrissie, you and I will be talking more about this on the other side of the news. Chrissie Blaze is our special guest this hour, Exonation. Always great having Chrissie with us here on the X-Zone. www.chrissieblaze.com and www.aetherius.org. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. We're coming to you from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Chrissie Blaze and I return on the other side of the news. That's a bit of a tongue twister sometimes. Whatever you do, don't go away. We'll be right back. Are you considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
Hi, this is Eric Rawls of Cosmoverse.com, and you're listening to Rob McConnell in the X Zone.
Hi, this is Blade Runner, and you are listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Hi, I'm Laura Sabrin of Feast to Fields Organic Vineyard in Jordan, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Hi, my name is Lady Ashley, the White Witch of Niagara-on-the-Lake, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal talk radio show, The X Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Welcome to The X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Looking in your eyes, I see a paradise. This world that I found is too good to be true. Standing here beside you, want so much to give you this love in my heart that I'm feeling for you.
Let them say we're crazy, I don't care about that. Put your hand in my hand, baby, don't ever look back. Let the world around us just fall apart. Baby, we can make it if we're heart to heart. And we can build this thing together.
Chrissie Blaze is my guest of this hour, X Zone Nation. And Chrissie, what do you think we can start doing to change the world? You know, I'm sure that if we all did something, some little thing, that we could make such a difference in this world of ours that people would just sit back in awe and say, well, why didn't we do this before?
Yeah, I think one thing we can, whatever religion we have or whichever philosophy we might have, I think we can raise our hands in prayer and send more love into the world, and whichever way we do it. One of the teachings received through Dr. King very simply said, if you're a Christian, be a good one. If you're a Buddhist, be a good one. If you're a Hindu, be a good one, etc. So it's like people should live their belief, whatever they are. If they're humanitarian, it really doesn't matter, because I think these are the days of spiritual action. And just try as good as they can to live a great life, sending out their love, helping people. You know, it all comes down to that, actually, I believe. The end of the day.
Chrissie, what is satellite number 3 and what is it doing?
Well, this is something that a satellite which Dr. King was first told had been in orbit of Earth, well, probably for a long time, but first became aware of it in the 1950s, 1955. And its sole purpose of this satellite, which for obvious reasons is not visible, and cannot be detected by radar, etc. Its sole purpose is to tune into every single person on Earth and who is doing something good or something spiritual or something helpful, and magnifying the effects of their actions. And you might think in the 1950s, when we first heard that, you might have thought this is impossible to be able to pinpoint a person on Earth. But if you think about it now, we do it with Google Maps, and it seems very much a part of our technology now. But, of course, they take it the next step. They have the technology to actually magnify the effect, the karmic effect, the power of the action we're doing by a factor of 3,000 times. And we have these periods. Actually, we're in one now until December the 10th. 4 times every year we have the period. They're the same dates every year. And it seems incredible, I know, but can I tell you a little story about
please do. Yeah, please do, Chrissie.
I was on a radio station in Brighton in England years ago, and it was late at night. It's like 2 a.m. or something. Well, you know about those early morning shows. And I didn't know if anybody was listening out there, but I was chatting to the host. I was in the studio, and he was asking me about satellite number 3. And so I said, well, why don't we raise our hands in prayer and send out a prayer? So he did, and I did, and we didn't think any more about it. But the following week, for every single day, this radio station was inundated with calls for people who had been